Welcome back, everybody, to the Life of an Average Joe podcast. Great to see you all here. Super happy. Man, I will tell you right now that I am looking at progress. Not my face, but I'm looking at progress for my recording studio that I've been working on for so long, and I think it's almost done. So I can't wait to roll everything out in 2026. It's going to be a whole different show. And I've been working on it for a while, guys, but things take time. Things cost money, and that is something I don't have, time or money. So priorities, but I'm excited. Shows are about to get back better. We're going to elevate them, and we've got a lot going on. I had a great interview that I can't wait to roll out. I believe that's in 2 weeks. I have to wait. That's what I was told to do. So should roll out in like 2 weeks. So this week, though, I want to talk about, I'm going to Michigan in a couple weeks. By the time you guys see this, it'll be a week before I go to Michigan. So I leave there the day, after Black Friday. So the 29th, that Saturday, I'm going back. It's been a couple years since I've gone back, to be honest with you. Luke's looking forward to it. And you know what? After the big Disney trip this summer, we're kind of toning things down. We've got Christmas coming up. It's hard for me to get away that time. And quite frankly, I always have a little bit of guilt, but because I need to do things at work, I need to be home. But you know what? Oddly enough, going to Michigan is not going to cost me much money. So, I'm blessed that way. I probably would spend more money if I stayed for that week than going to Michigan. So fingers crossed. I got a buddy of mine going to watch the cat for a while and the fish, and everything's going to be good, blessed, and we're going to be positive. We're going to move forward, and we're going to try to get some positivity in the air. So, but this week, even though Thanksgiving is not here yet, and I am not one to rush a holiday by any means. Thanksgiving's not here yet. It's close, but it's not here. I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about holiday parties, because now's that time of year where holiday parties start happening. We start getting invites. You start thinking about if your work has one, or maybe they're doing a holiday lunch. It just depends what you're doing for work, but those start to happen. You start to look at family gatherings. You start to look at Friendsgiving and friend get-togethers and all this stuff. And you start to see, like, my plate is already full with work and Luke and his activities and my activities. What is reflecting there? Oh, the glass. Yeah, I'm not fixing that. And I start thinking about parties and stuff, and I'm like, how can I put this? When it comes to the work parties, I think it's cool. One thing about my job is they do a really great display of appreciation for everybody that works there, for the partners and all that. They have fun. You have your dress up days because we're 7, right? I dress up anyway. I do what I want. So if I feel like wearing like a Christmas hoodie, regardless if it's Christmas sweater day, I'm going to do it, and we're going to get in the mood. But they do things like that. And then they'll have like hot chocolate. They had breakfast bars. They showed holiday movies in the break room. And it just adds to the fun. Whether everybody appreciates that or not, I think it's cool. I don't go in the break room very often because I don't like to go by the office where people can talk to me. But I think it's cool. The store feels very energetic for the holiday season. And it doesn't matter, if it's Hanukkah or Christmas or Thanksgiving or Kwanzaa or Diwali. Like, I love, and I know Diwali was in October, but I love the kind of vibe, but so that part's cool. And I think that, workplaces should do that because it's a busy time of year. It's very rare that this time of year is slow for people at work. Some businesses and industries are busier than others because of what they do. I'm busier than some of the industries. A lot of the people are winding down, but you're pushing that last, that last little bit of the year before you roll into 2026. And then in January, things just slow down for everybody. So I think you should make it fun and try to do the best you can, So I don't have a problem with that. What I don't like, if I can be honest with you, and somebody's going to watch this that I work with and get mad, and I don't care. I don't like manager outings and manager Christmas parties. Let me adjust. It's going to get wonky here. I don't like them. And let me tell you why. It's not that I don't appreciate it. I did a manager outing 2-3 stores ago, and it was fun. We had a little meeting, we catered food in, and then we went to Topgolf. It was during a downtime of year. We had a blast. We had a blast at Topgolf. We had some food. I went home early that day, picked up Luke. I was off the next day. Super fun and appreciative because we did get to get ourselves outside of that element. Having a manager outing Christmas holiday party in the middle of my busy time of year doesn't work for me. You're going to take me out of the department, okay? Out of my beer and wine department. Either A, during the day, so I'm missing days worth of work. I have to use that on my day off because I'm assuming this isn't a paid outing. Because we're going to, if we're going to go to a restaurant, I'm assuming I can have a couple cocktails, which means I can't be working, right? If this is a paid outing, then I'm not going to be able to drink. So, okay. Or you're going to do it after work on my own time. I have to be honest with you. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Why don't I want to go? Because I am in the middle of the busiest time of year working with you guys nonstop during a very stressful time. And now I have to spend more time with you. It doesn't matter if I like you or not. I don't want to spend time with you. I want to go home because I appreciate that you want to do something. Can't we do it in January? And I never understood doing those things in January. Like, oh, the holiday's over. But that's the point when you're in the industry I'm in. Let's go after the holiday and hang out when we're all de-stressed. It's kind of a recharge before we take some extra time off and we get into the next round. Why do I have to do it? Because all that's going to do is stress me out. I'm not going to be relaxed because either A, I'm out of my store and I'm missing time and getting paid to see the people I work with, not at work, but I can't drink. Or I'm out of my store, missing time during a stressful time of year when I can make sales and contribute to what ultimately is my career to see people I work with outside of the store. Or I go to work and now I got to go on my own time to see people that I see at the most stressful time of year. I don't want to do it. There's a giant part of me that wants to skip it. I don't see anything wrong with that. I really don't. I'll see you in January, bro. Oh, Brandon, you got to go. It's part of the work thing. It's part of the camaraderie. Camaraderie? Really? You mean half the same people that don't even I see because we're so busy? Camaraderie? Okay. No, Brandon, it's just like the corporate thing to do. Bingo. I'm not that guy. I'm not the corporate guy. And I don't want to do it. Let's come together naturally. And I need to specify, I appreciate that they would take the time and the money to do that. But I think taking the time and the money to really make it special would be to do it after the holiday. Don't take time away from my family. Don't take time away from my job. Because all you're doing is setting me behind. And I don't think I'm being unreasonable. I got an idea. Let's go to happy hour. Doesn't have to be on the clock, because we can't. If you want to pay people, because I think that's something they do that's very cool, is a lot of times they'll pay you to be there. Then the minute that dinner's over and the fun's over and the gift exchange and the jokes is over, tell everybody, look, hey guys, we still got this room, we still got this table, but we're just going to hang out at the bar. Come on, but you're off the clock now. Liability's gone. We're all grown adults. Most of us have kids. I got to get up and go to work. Let me hang out and have a drink with somebody that I don't get to have that drink with, or be in an atmosphere that's going to take that pressure off, that's going to take that relaxation down, and be able to just talk and communicate, talk about sports, talk about life, music, holidays. Because when it's in that environment of like paying for it and eating dinner, it still feels very work. I am not going to be able to relax. My work environment is going to be on, because I have people I like, people I don't really know that are still not going to talk to me, and I have vultures there with backhanded compliments that are going to sit there and be watching every move I make. Because no matter what job you're at, you're going to have those people. I feel that way about friends, quotation marks. I got invited to a party, a holiday party, from a guy I haven't seen in a year. He wasn't overseas. He wasn't out of town. He wasn't busy. Matter of fact, he shopped at one of my other stores that I was at. Never came to the department, even though he drinks. That's fine. Has my number, obviously. Just nothing. Got a new place. Decided to invite us over. Come celebrate with us in our new place. Oh, so you want me to bring something? Is that what it is? You got to fill your fridge? Because you know I'm not going to show up empty-handed? Where have you been for the year? I admit, I haven't invited some of my friends over in a long time. Last get together was a 90s party in August. Okay? A couple of them have been over since then, like individually, but I'm about to have a little chill night with them. We're going to cook some pasta. We're going to have our ugly sweaters on, sit on the patio and hang out. I've sent the invite out already to the people that I care about. They know it's a busy time of year for me. It's a busy time of year for them. But where'd this guy come from? I'm not going. I'm going to decline the invite. The invite came in the mail. Bro, you got my address. You sent me an invite. And then he sent me like a text invite, like a stupid Google thing or whatever. I don't know. No, I'm not going. I don't feel like I have to go to all these holiday parties just because it's the holidays, because I don't think that we have to be nice to people that don't like us. I don't think you have to be mean. And what I mean by that is, yes, we're adults. I'm 47. I don't have to be rude or disrespectful to somebody just because they don't like me. But I don't have to be nice to them either. And I'm all about bringing people together. I love that. Believe it or not, I come across one way, and it's not fake by any means, but my passion and my heart for people and my give a you know what about people is way more inside than it shows to everybody. And it's definitely split down the middle. My ability to not give an F should be documented. There should be documentaries and studies on my ability to not give an F. Seriously. It takes a lot to not care the way I not care about things. You also lose a lot in the process. But my ability to care about people and connect people and have fun with people and make other people have a good day and lift other people up is probably something a lot of people don't know unless you know me. But I don't believe that we have to go to every party during the holiday. Well, it's the holidays. We should make an appearance. Why? Because the one time a year somebody went to church, somebody's got a guilty conscience and decides to reach out. Why? I'm not playing to their hypocrisy. I'm going to be with the people. Isn't the holiday season, and really every day, supposed to be about the people you love? I don't love everybody, guys. I'm not Jesus, okay? I'm not. I don't wish will ill on people, but I don't want to have dinner with everybody, and I don't want to party with everybody. And I don't want to put this fake nostalgia BS out there. It's like that girl that called me only because she was going through a divorce. Great. I helped her out. Where is she now? You used me. You're nowhere to be found. Oh, ride or die. Ride or die. Really? Where have you been? You want to criticize me because I haven't been around? You got married because that's what people do, and we didn't talk anymore. And then you get a divorce. You want to go through your feels and reach out to people. I understand that's the process, and if I could help you get through that and heal, great. But don't sit here and act like you want to hang out and you want to see me. Like, get out of here, dude. You weren't there through my divorce. Matter of fact, most of y'all didn't even know until after it happened because I kept my mouth shut. That's neither here nor there. And that was years ago, so let's get over that. But I don't think that we have to go to every party. I think parties are important, you know? It's good for the soul. It's good for your energy. It's good for de-stressing. But going to a work party to sit with some people that I don't like, that don't like me so they can feel good about themselves, nah. You better call somebody else. Matter of fact, I don't want to be there, so you can ask me why I wasn't there. Let me cook. Let me do what I do this time of year. Put on events, sell stuff, make parties, connect people. That's what I do. I make people feel special and make everyone want to be at wherever I am, because if they're not there, they feel like they miss something. That's not a bad thing. That's an experience. And I think that more people appreciate that than me going to a party with a bunch of people that, quite frankly, don't like me. Not all of them. And I'm not just talking about work. I'm talking about the random invites, okay? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the work people don't like me. I'm just saying the random invites. And I was that way in school. I was that way in high school. One of the biggest things that I loved, we used to have this, and I talked about it years ago on the podcast. I was a big WWE fan, wrestling, WWF at the time, WCW when it was around. It was big NWO, right? Like NWO and DX. And we were a bunch of nerds, we called ourselves the NWO. Wolfpack, baby. Wolfpack. For life. And we all had nicknames for each other and all this stuff, and we would have the NWO Christmas party. And it was me and like 7 guys. And we'd put music on, order pizza, and we do gift exchanges. Man, it's some of the funnest moments with those guys. I have pictures of it still. And like actual pictures, not on my phone, right? And we would have gift exchanges, buying CDs, DVDs, hoodies, posters. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget. We did that about 3 years in a row. We did that freshman year, sophomore year, and junior year. We're still that tight group of people. And some of the guys I knew even longer than that, like my buddy Ken, who I've known for years, and one of my other buddies who I lived with way back when we were younger, and we reconnected in South Lyon. And, I remember going in the basement and there's just this spread out of food and snacks and pizzas and music's on and old wrestling videos. And we're, just opening our gift exchanges. We all bought each other. We did the draw a name. And if you drew the name, that's who you bought, you know? And I'll never forget that because that was pure joy. And then we'd hang out, and afterwards we'd go out, maybe go to a party, or we'd go to somebody's house and get some alcohol, or just cruise around, or maybe it was snowing. I remember junior year, one of the parties we had, it was snowing so bad we didn't drive anywhere, so we just went outside and went sledding at like midnight, drinking. Sorry, it's true. You know, those were the moments that I remember from those types of parties. As we got older and some of those people kind of disappeared or they moved out, the core was there. And I remember we used to go to, just talking to one of my sales reps about this. We used to go to my favorite Italian restaurant, Giovanni's on Woodward in Detroit. If you're not familiar with Giovanni's, I highly recommend you look up Giovanni's. I want to take Luke there, you know. I'm taking all my important people in my life there, you know. Ex-wives, girlfriends, businessmen, associates, things like that. And Giovanni's was a special place for us. So at Giovanni's, it's a very, very famous place, not a great neighborhood, very famous place. Frank Sinatra went there. JFK went there. It's got a lot of history. Burnt down, actually, and they rebuilt it. And it was family owned, and the mom would come around to our table and sit and talk to us. She'd grab a thing of wine. Sometimes she'd just tell everybody, bring out a couple. I don't even know. Hey, bring out this. What is it? I don't know. You like it. And she'd throw it on the table. It was one of those restaurants where, yes, you dressed up. I dressed up. Okay? I dressed up. Suit. Club, like nice club, like button up. Yeah, I look good. I wouldn't show up like this there. I still wouldn't show up like this. I still look my best when I would go there. But it felt like you were at your grandma's house. Beautiful bar. And if you looked around the restaurant, it had the Stations of the Cross, for all you guys know, like, if you're Catholic, but it had like Jesus's crucifixion carved out of wood. She flew the bar in, pieces of this bar from Italy. Amazing wine selection. Low lights. You walk in, they take your coat. Like, God, just pure. But all that being said, drop, $300-400, whatever you want. All that being said, felt like you're at in a basement. I felt like I was in my basement of my grandma and papa's house. So we would go and we'd rent out the Frank Sinatra room. Frank Sinatra room's in the back. Gotta have like 10, I think it was 10 people, could have been 12. And that was the room that Frank Sinatra always went to. Every time he'd visit Detroit, every time he'd go through, that's where he'd go. The Frank Sinatra room. They got a beautiful picture of Sinatra in there, nice round table. We rent it out. Sliding doors, smoke cigars, drink, beautiful wine, eat food. We would do that with the guys as we graduated from the NWO days. And we just hang out. Most expensive tab I ever had there was $1,400. True story. 10 guys. That's not bad when you divide it up by 10 guys. $1,400. And you got to remember, this is $1,400 back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Paying cash. Roll in with a fat wad. Not lying, guys. This isn't a bragging thing. It's a memory. Working at the clubs and stuff, doing other things I shouldn't be doing. But I had a lot of money back then. We would do our Christmas parties there, Christmas dinners. I had to book them in advance, months. I'll never forget the final one we had. I'll never forget that moment. My buddy was moving, and he was moving far. My other buddy was having these moments. He was about to get married to this girl. I'm not blaming her, but he was changing. Moody prick. And we had a good time. I remember leaving, and normally we'd leave together to go somewhere else. Go to this little bar in Detroit. It's a blues bar. If you know, you know. And we'd go there and drink, maybe go to Canada, but typically we just go there. And half of the group wasn't going. It's the first time this ever happened. And I remember, oh, yep, still there. I just want to make sure this thing wasn't like bumping up against my hoodie, bro. I think it's not. All right, anyway. I remember getting up, going to the bathroom, coming back, paid the tab, said goodbye. And I was like, hey, you guys, come on, let's just go. You know, it's going to be a long time before we do this again. Out of the 10 people, 3 went. Maybe 4, but I remember 3. And I remember as we separated to go to our cars, and Valley would pull them around most of the time, but you definitely want to park where they tell you. I looked back and I knew it was over. You know when something's over, you can't explain it. You hug, you end it on a good note, but you know that time, that moment of your life, that experience you have, it's over. And it's not going to come back. You don't know what did it. It wasn't a falling out. There's not one single moment that led to that, but you know there was a single moment. There was a single moment that you knew it was over, and that was that. Because I got in the car, my buddy drove, and I sat down, I looked out the window, and I watched the cars drive away in different directions. For the most part. Most of the time, you had to go in the same direction and get out. But there was a couple. And it was over. We went to the bar that night, we talked, and it was holiday time. It was about 2 weeks before Christmas, maybe a week and a half. Bars all decorated. Music's playing. Some great Christmas blues. Oh my God. And I looked at my buddy and I was like, I think that's probably the last time we'll all get together. And they're like, no, man. You know how it is, man. Once they get situated, we'll be back, you know. Did some shots, and I knew in my heart that was. And it was the last time that I hung out with those guys again. Not the 3 that I was at, 3 or 4 I was at the bar with, but the other guys. It was it. It was done. And I know it's a good Christmas memory, and it's a good feeling because I can feel that moment. I can feel it. I can smell the food. I know what cigar I was smoking. I know what wine we had. But you don't get those back a lot. And it's hard when you have different lives, and it's hard when you've grown and moved like I did, and jobs and married and kid, you know, and divorced kid, like 47, you know. And I just miss my guys, man. Like I just miss my guy. I miss my boys. And it's not taken away from my boys here. It's not. It's just different. And I don't know what they're doing, and I'm not going to check in because it's so long ago, right? But I miss them. And I miss those moments because that's what this holiday, like when I think of holiday parties, I think like that. You know, those type of moments. We used to get together when I was dating this one girl. It's in Michigan, and me and her friend and her friend's boyfriend would all get together about a week before Christmas and go hit up this little crappy bar out in Walled Lake and just hang out and drink and do karaoke. That was our Christmas party. And inevitably we'd run into somebody there, but you know, I ran a bar here in Texas for a while, great bars. Out of all the bars I've run, I could go down a list of some of my favorite bars, but this one in particular was one of my favorites because it was Cheers. It was Cheers. It's what you expected. It was literally, you go there any day of the week, somebody was there that you know. And if you didn't know more than one person, by the time you left, you would meet them and meet others. And it got to the point where even if I wasn't bartending, people were just there. It got to the point where, yeah, obviously I had a family and I was like, I don't want to go to the bar when I'm not working, but sometimes we would. Hey, I'm not working, let's go. Just one of the most influential bars of my life, I think. I think what I did there, and I know what I did it. I know, and this is not a cocky thing. And there's some people that have said some amazing things about me when it comes to my line of work and what I've done. And I appreciate those compliments. I don't know if they're true or not, but thank you for thinking that. But what I've done at this bar, I know what I did because I packed it all the time because I made it something special. So I remember one day it was Christmas Eve or the eve before the eve. I shut the bar down early and I had a beer exchange with my boys. We sat outside and we brought, this was, I don't know how many years ago, 10 years ago, craft beer, exploding in Texas. And we were bringing bombers and I had specialty beers that I ordered and sat outside, smoked cigars and just got started drinking. Just nobody there. Shut the bar down. Is this place open? Nah, it's closed. Sorry. It's closed. Eat it. We'd order pizza from Pizzeria Testa, one of the best pizza places. True Italian pizza. True Neapolitan style pizza in Texas. We'd order it and we'd bring it there and just sit. And that was our Christmas party. And then I would do that. I did it at my house. And we used to call it the Gathering of the Fools. It was like I don't know, maybe do it 2-3 times a year. But I always tried to do it around the holiday season, the Gathering of the Fools. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys, whatever, sometimes 5. We'd cook food, smoke cigars, and we would drink from like 6 o'clock to like 3, 4 in the morning. I remember when Luke was born, he was about 1.5, and he wanted to walk out and see, come see dad. And he would just sit out there. We wouldn't smoke in front of him, smoke cigars. I quit smoking cigars shortly after Luke was born, actually. And we'd just drink. And he'd be hanging out with us, listening to music, chilling with dad. Weren't belligerent. We were drinking craft beer, And it was great because we'd be sampling. Hey, Brandon, I got this in. This is a 20 whatever. Oh, my God, I flew this in from New York, Grilling, making barbecue chicken, whatever, man. And we would do that around Christmas. And obviously, that ended. The Gathering of the Fools ended. Most of the fools disappeared or became fools. Those are memories, and those are holiday parties that I like. I've gone to a big holiday parties. I went to a big holiday party last year with this girl at the hotel down in Plano. That might not mean anything to you guys, but we dressed up. I mean, it was a dress up. It was an awesome party. We stayed at the hotel, whatever, but awesome. But it was almost like a work thing because I felt like I had to be on my game. I had to sit there and it was beautiful. And I love that she was there. I can't stand her now. I think she stole my razor, but she don't talk to me since then. So we're not gonna look, the statute of limitations wore out on that. I understand. But we had fun, man. And that was really a cool experience because it was a bougie party. And I didn't mind it once I got through all the meet and greet, shaking hands, kissing babies, whatever. And once I got through all that, I was like, okay. Because it's exhausting because I do that all the time. I would say 7 days a week. I don't work 7 days a week, but I feel like I do that 7 days a week. You know how many hands I got to shake? You know how many people I got to go talk to and say hi? It's constant, business. And then I got to do this. And then I just want to shut down. But that was a cool holiday party. I've been invited to a couple this year. I really wish it would have worked out with that one girl, man. She's out there. I'm not going to say her name. I really do. I didn't think it was going to bother me that bad. It bothers me. I'm not like sitting here alone listening to, Mumford and Sons or Prince or, Boys to Men drinking rosé. I'm 47, guys. It happens, But I do wish it would have worked out. And the worst thing about it is it didn't even end because we were stupid. It ended probably because we were smart. That's all I'm going to say. But when I get around this time of year and I think about some of those parties, it'd be cool. I like to dress up every now and then, even though I'm a hoodie and shorts guy. I don't like to dress up at work, but I like to dress up and do stuff. It'd been cool to I got invited by my buddy and his girlfriend to go to this party. I'm going to be the only dude there, without somebody. And it's not that I must have somebody. You feel me on that? So I'm not going. I'm just going to watch Love Actually again and cry. But I think you don't have to go to all these parties. I am having, or not Halloween parties. I am having a get together and I'm excited about it. And I hope people show up. It's been a while since I made food for a lot of people. I typically just make it for Luke or, maybe some others. But being able to make a large meal, it takes me back in this particular time of year. I get frustrated because it is joyful and I'm happy and I am blessed in so many ways. And I can't say that enough. I need to do better about acknowledging that in my head and appreciating that in my head, but I do know it anyway. And I know as you get older, things change. But I'd be lying if I said it doesn't irritate me or frustrate me when I look at other people and their stuff hasn't changed. And what I mean by that is family get-togethers around the holidays aren't family parties, but they are in a sense. It's not the same as a corporate party or a Friendsgiving or anything. Luke will never get to experience what I experienced growing up. Because we don't have that family down here, and we don't have, and he was born so much later, I had him when I'm older than, whatever. And we were down in Texas. So I'm not saying he doesn't have family. I'm not saying he doesn't see his family. That's not what I'm getting at. But he's not going to experience what I had. He's not going to experience Sunday dinners the way I had them. Going at 3:00 to be ready there at 3:30, 3:45. Make 4:00 is the key, but get there a few minutes early. Dinner's still being made, and then you sit down, He's not going to experience the holidays like I did, walking into chaos, walking down in my grandma and papa's basement and seeing everybody there. He's just not. What are you going to do? And it sucks because those are the parties, because they're a party that I wish he could experience. They put all those other parties to shame. They put all those corporate holiday parties and all that to shame. So, what are you going to do? But I think a lot of times people feel obligated to go to parties, and you don't have to go. You could say no. I'm going to say no to several. I just want to be, it's the holidays. I want to be with the people I love. And man, I had some fun parties back home. And I continued the tradition. Even when I was married, we invite people over, but it's been a while since I've done it. So I'm excited to have that holiday party this year. For whoever shows up, it's going to be fun. Don't got to drop a bunch of money on it because let's be real, we don't have it. but I think it's going to be a good time. So anyway, I hope you guys are understanding where I'm coming from. We're not at Christmas yet. Let's get through Thanksgiving. Next week is Thanksgiving. Oh my God, dude. I have so much to do. Blah. Anyway, so next week is Thanksgiving. I will be in Michigan. I'll probably do an episode from Michigan. So we'll see what that looks like. And then, yeah, and then I'll drop that episode. I had a great interview. I'm looking to go on TikTok live with Nick Luck this Sunday. So follow the social media for that. If he's there, if not, I think I'm going to go by myself. I'm going to talk about some stuff. So that'll be fun. But yeah, that's it. You guys have a good one. Have a great night. And let's get ready to decline some Hollywood, some holiday parties, because I ain't going to all of them.